Hello everyone. Hello everyone. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone joining us from across the globe, especially UAE. A warm welcome to everyone to a very special conference, that is the Family First Conference 2026. This conference is inspired by UAE's Year of the Family, so it's a big inspiration for us. I'm Neetu Chaudhary, your host for this special conference. Now, today truly makes it very special occasion, especially because for the first time ever, the Family First Conference is being live streamed on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So the links are in comments, and you can join and be generous. Today is Valentine's Day, so be generous, be kind to all speakers because most of them are speaking for the first time. And I always say it's easy to sit in audience and criticize, but it's very difficult and it requires a lot of courage to be in arena and do that work. So appreciate and give all your love to our speakers. And I want to mention that each session is meticulously designed by all our expert speakers. They are doing brilliantly in their own field to help your family grow, connect, and thrive. So, especially for this conference, stay till end and enjoy, make notes because I can guarantee you the team is working for last 3 weeks and every session is revised multiple times so that we give the best value to your time. And we have six verticals or six tracks are there. They are self, well-being at work and family, parenting and work, family mentoring, family and finance, and the most hot topic, that is AI and family. So these are the six different tracks. Again, the sequence is given in the comments so you can see from there. And every single topic, every single session is very meticulously designed by all our experts to support your family. The most important thing about this event is that this is for everyone, so that's the reason we schedule it on weekend so everyone can join and enjoy this session. Our brilliant line of speaker reflects a rich multicultural fabric of UAE, and that's what we are proud of. So we encourage you to connect with our speakers. Their LinkedIn profile is there in comments again, and you can see it like in multiple posts. Connect with them, follow them. Each and everyone is doing brilliantly, like their posts, their videos, their content, their work will truly inspire you and your family. I'll not take much time because our speakers have a lot to talk about. Let's get started. And our first speaker is Siddique. Let me add him to the screen first so that you can see him. And he's amazing human being. After introducing, I'll tell something special about him to you. So, Siddique, he's the founding member and the managing director of Assured, and he runs multiple businesses with expertise in business intelligence, finance, functional reengineering, talent solutions, and corporate training. He empowers organizations to make informed decisions. That's what we all need, and elevates leadership capabilities. Knowing for sharing powerful stories, and that's what he's going to share today. That's the secret I'm telling you. So he's known for sharing powerful stories that inspire, connect, and deeply with audience. Siddiq brings the most authentic, insightful content in every conversation. Like I know him for last more than 4 years, so I can say this with guarantee that his stories are truly inspiring. And today he's going to share with us his personal story about ambition, risk, and family alignment. Thank you so much, Siddiq, for joining us today.
Thank you, Neetu. Thank you very much for your introduction. I think the slide which you are showing is the middle slide. Can you go to the first slide? Yeah, thank you. No.
My
Mm,
bad. Just a second.
yeah. one more back. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Uh, uh, we can go to the next slide. So we'll start the session. Yeah, I started my entrepreneurial journey at my age of 15. So at my 23, I built or we built a $500,000 company. At 26, after 7 years or after 3 years, I couldn't even pay my bank EMIs. When my one and a half year old son smiles at me, tried to play with me, I was hiding from the bank notices and bank calls. Next. This is the story which I am not going to tell. It is not a success story. This is a survival story. I'm sure that you can get something out of it. I'm telling from my heart. You know, these are the three major points which you can take it during my session. How or what alignment at home decides your business success? Why a paycheck is survival, not a freedom? How an unmanaged growth silently kills your business? These are the things which we are going to discuss. The first trap, I purposefully put this title. I will explain you in detail. This is my stage one of my life. As I told at the age of 15, as I told at the age of 15, I was, running my business. I started my career entrepreneurial journey. In my teens, I was thinking that, money is the most successful factor. People, success means money. So I was running behind the money and I was started many multiple businesses during that time, like from event management to Miss Neetu, can you go back to the same slide? I will tell you that when you need to go to the next slide. Yeah, I have. I was, running multiple businesses like bike dealership, event management, fruits and vegetable. Wherever I find an opportunity to make money, I was behind that. I thought that money is the only one success fact. So. I was parallelly working with an MNC called Collabra. So working as an SAP consultant while I was doing business. But my father want to see me as a engineer since I studied engineering. So in Kerala there is a typical this thing comparing with profession business you know uh, professional experience considered as like something really good. So my father want me to work as an engineer as well. So I worked as an SAP consultant. My company moved me to Kerala to Mumbai, and parallelly I was running business. Uh, then this happened. Next slide. So slowly, I was fully dependent on my people. I didn't build any proper system or proper processes. I fully relied on my team and my people who were running my show. So after 8 9 months, I started getting calls from bank and from my home also that there are no lot of notices are coming to home from banks because most of my businesses built because of the greed. I started taking so many loans and all the gold loans and everything, and the repayment was not happening. I was also fully immersed in my professional at consulting, and I was believing that my businesses will take care by my team. So that was not happened and started collapsing one by one. So I understood that salary is just an illusion. Salary alone can save me because the debt I was carrying, which is 50, I mean, which is like close to $150,000 in, if I'm telling in dollars, which is like somewhere close to 60 lakhs Indian rupees that I was carrying. So I I have to move from that country. I mean, I'm forced to move from my place because the frequent calls from banks and the, I mean, the people I, borrowed money, they're continuously calling, and, I was forced to move from that place. So that's how my stage two happened in Dubai. I moved to Dubai. Next slide. I mean, when I was moving to Dubai, I have only one contact, which is my childhood friend, Larry, which you can see. The green shirt is myself, and the other one is Larry. So he is the one who helped me to come to Dubai. He arranged accommodation, food, and everything. And but that time I have only one contact, that is this friend. Next. So after moving to Dubai, I got a, I started immediately applying for jobs. So I can find immediate some solutions. So I got some interviews. I got some good job which I was doing in India, the same kind of thing. My family members are happy that I got a job. So, but I was not happy. I spoke to my father that, my family actually, not only the father, my mother and everyone was against that, don't do again the mistakes, the same mistake. You're not matured enough to run a business. You first do some job and then you can do the business. But I started discussing with my wife, Sidra. She told I told her that, Sidra, I will not be happy if I'm working. I want to do something my own. Otherwise, I don't know, like my on my the inner me is telling me I have to do this is the right time. So what she told is that you are telling absolutely right. So whatever you feel to do, you do it. Don't think too much. Everything can be in the same place. If you wish to do the business, you continue with what your mind is saying, what your intuition is saying. So I started my entrepreneurial journey again. So I started as a VAT consultant. I acquired some license. Next slide. I acquired a license in Sharjah, Emirate, in a free zone. I started going to the clients with some notices printed my the friend Larish who gave me from his office because I don't have enough money to print proper brochures or this thing. So every day morning, my target is to meet 30 shops. So I take roll-ups and I go to each shops. I gave pamphlets wherever possible to put my standee. I didn't know that even putting standee need a permission, but still some supermarkets, some shopping mall in front of shopping mall and all, I started putting my standee. But after 4 months, no clients, zero clients, close to thousand. I met thousands of people. Almost 4 months. My hope started going down. Then one day, next slide. The one day I was sitting in Sharjah Mosque. There is a masjid called Saudi Masjid. I was sitting there and during lunchtime, Luhar prayer. I was literally crying that am I made a bad decision by, again coming to business. I started, my business and it was like I was literally crying. That is what, I felt the real God touches that time. The Almighty, I felt Almighty there. I got a call from my phone started ringing. I saw my phone, one of my first customer is calling me and asking like, hey Siddique, can you come to my office? I gone there. He asked me for a service. Even I didn't know that how to quote and all those things. He asked, offered 100 dirhams for my service. I happily took that. That is the 100 dirhams which you are seeing in the screen. I took immediately a photo in my phone and kept it because that 100 dirhams gave me 100 millions of dirhams, feeling. There I got my faith. From there I started. Next slide. Next slide. So today, when I am sitting now, Alhamdulillah, by the grace of God, I have three plus businesses and 45 plus team members. We have decent offices, including where I'm sitting now is in Sheikh Zayed office. Uh, Next slide. All my team are mostly from Big Fours or Accenture, Deloitte kind. So all Alhamdulillah, by the grace of God, it is going good. So now what is the one big thing which happened in my life in stage two is my focus or my vision is changed. Before it was money. Now I was thinking like how can create an impact. I feel like, hope, I mean, most of them read this book called Ikigai. So I felt like I found my Ikigai. So now my focus is not income or revenue or profit, how to create a impact in the lives. So that's how my mission for the company for 2040 is 1 million, how to touch 1 million assured. The program called is 1 million assured smiles, how to touch 1 million lives. And we reached 300. You can see in the slide 3,508, but yesterday a couple of things happened, so it will go to closely 3,600. And I'm happy to say that, the person who trusts me in the beginning, she's the one. My wife is the chairperson for this mission, Dr. Sidra. So I, what the aim of this presentation, which I want to convey, is this is the three important thing which I want you to note down. So how our alignment or the vision is more important than income or money or anything, and always family support will give you more courage to start anything or to go for our dream. So family support is very important, especially during I want to stress this point because our topic is very relevant or related to this. Because of my wife, she stood for me. I could do this. I did these things. And also the biggest learning which I had in my life is that before you go for a big scale up for any business, put proper systems in the place. And I want to ask you one thing. What is your 100 AD moment? Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Siddique. It was such a wonderful story, and I'm sure it would have inspired so many people. Thanks a lot for sharing it.
Thank you.
And now I would like to thank you. I would like to invite our next speaker, Sheila, and she is very special because she shares the same. Sheila, if you can switch on your camera, please. Yes, she's here. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Thank you. And let me introduce this wonderful lady. She is so special because she shares the same name as my mom. So when I first time met her, I was so happy because it was like a good memory for me. Sheila Maris is an innovative finance professional with extensive experience in finance, taxation, management reporting, budgeting, project analysis. And she is known for her excellent problem solving skills, decision making, and communication. She supports both operations and management in financial planning and process improvement. She is passionate, very proactive, a dynamic team player, and Sheila embodies integrity, efficiency, and excellence in everything she does. And I can feel it because since I met her till now, every time we meet, it's like so energizing. And the best part is it, she's going to share with us today what does success means for family in UAE. And this is so important for anyone, not only in UAE, but anyone who's coming to any new country. How do they define the success? So stage is yours, Sheila.
Thank you, Neetu. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. I am absolutely thrilled to share with you sentiments and facts about my journey in embracing two of the greatest forces that shape our lives. It's family and success. But before we move on, again, I'd like to greet everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. Being here on a Saturday already spells success for us and our families. So, how do families define success in the UAE? When we hear the word success, we almost often think about the future. We think of things that we will have soon. Statistics show that 67% of the world's working population associates success with these soon to have things, which could be your savings, your bank account, your crypto account. Some have stocks, insurance, and retirement plans. They spell it as part of their savings. Some have gold. They buy lots of gold. They even have gold accounts. Um, Others spell success as optimized lifestyle. It could be your dream vacation, your bigger house, nicer car, healthier food, all the curated diets, expensive curated diets, signature bags, or some equate success to Rolex watches. Um, Others spell success as opportunities, career growth, your dream position, being a VP, controller, or GM, all the commas after our last names. It could be PhD, MBA, CMA, or SHRMCP. Some spell success as their networks, your colleagues, professional connections, your mentors, your friends, even your community. But as a finance person, I equate these soon to have things as profit, ROI. The more I get of it, the more I will need to invest effort and time. Two very expensive assets. Being trained to forecast, budget, and manage risk, I remember calculating my own payback period. Yes, it is a couple of years before I fully realized my own ROI and finally enjoy the fruits of my labor. I have to, with great effort, quickly and surely climb that ladder of success to make my payback period shorter. I have to be quick, run fast, and finish the rat race. And then my family happened. I got married, I had kids, three to be exact. My priorities had to change, investments had to be reallocated, my savings was depleted, vacations canceled, my social life was gone. No more night outs and weekend outs with with friends or sometimes colleagues. The days became long, the nights were longer. I don't know if you agree with me, but the diaper changing on all that stuff, it's just the nights were really long. My accounting mind again started calculating my payback period. It will now not be years, but it will be decades. But living in the UAE has taught me something very powerful, that success is not only the future we are building tomorrow, it is also the life that we are living now. Living in this very fast paced, multicultural environment for the last 10 years has taught me to just be calm and slow down. Diversity, respect, empathy, just they changed my mindset and shaped my professional and personal life. It was noticing ordinary wonders, moments I used to overlook before, the now moments which I can never buy back. It was a revolutionary feeling, and grace taught me how to be present. I felt scales fell off my eyes as years go by. Strangely, I started enjoying the sunset and sunrise of the arid UAE summers. I enjoy the long days and long nights. As much as I want to miss, don't want to miss work days before, I crave dinner nights with my family. Yes, I enjoy hearing leadership wisdom from my mentors, but even more, I want to linger looking at my children talking about dinosaurs and robots. I am eager to sit late with my husband over coffee and just watch our children sleep. This started to become success for me. You probably heard of the saying, cash is king. In finance, totally true. But personally, for me, I would say time is king. You cannot, you cannot uh, buy back lost time. Let us not forget today while we plan for the future because our family, our kids cannot, they might live, of course, we will live tomorrow, but they are kids today. We have our families today. Statistics may show that a minority, 33% of our working population, spells success as present. But who cares? For me, success equates to a very expensive commodity, which is time. Time. We are all different. We are different. But all of us have the same 24 hours. No one has 10 hours more or 5 hours less. This valuable commodity is more expensive today than tomorrow. And this is why we calculate present value. Success for me it's like a gift, a present, something that we don't need to work for. It is an asset that we already have, a gift ready to be unwrapped. Let us all open ours today. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Sheila. It was amazing. And it's it's right in the time because this is the time I think we need most of the time. Weekends we are busy, including me. Like every weekend since the year has started, I'm busy. So I promised my daughter that next weekend I'm not doing anything. I'll be available to her. So
Same
I
for me.
loved
Thank you
it
very much,
because you're
Neetu.
talking about being in present moment, and I think when we get busy with our lives, sometimes we are not doing that. Thank you so much for sharing this presentation.
Thank you, Neetu. Thank you, everyone.
And now we have another beautiful session, which everyone, because I saw in comments, some lot of questions are there about how to move to UAE and what to do. So we have a very special speaker. I find it difficult to pronounce her name, so we call her Nadia. But let me try to read her name, like pronounce her name correctly. Nadezhda Vijendren. She is HR business partner, talent management and recruitment expert. With over 20 years of experience in HR across investment, corporate, retail, banking, property management, Nadia brings deep expertise in recruitment, talent management, compensation, and employee engagement. She has worked globally with leaders like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Citibank, and many other big companies across multiple geographies. Known for her strategic approach, Nadia has successfully driven process improvement and led HRs for big companies across the globe. And she will share with us family relocation to UAE from decision to settling in. Now, there is a little bit of twist in story. She has a professional commitment. She's doing some learning programs for herself So she couldn't join us today directly. So she has recorded the video and shared with us. I'm going to play this for you now. So enjoy this.
Before I start my presentation, I wanted to thank Neetu for this wonderful opportunity for me to speak up, and thank you for your listening to my presentation. Unfortunately, I won't be able to physically present at your meeting, but I tried my best to make everything online and hope for the information that you will find in my presentation will be helpful to someone. So as I said, my name is Nadia, and when Neetu announced that family would be the topic of our presentation, it was very easy for me to decide what to talk about. And the reason is simple. I've been working in HR for more than 20 years, and around 20% of those queries that I'm having on my HR table.
Kanno, can you just switch off all your Wi-Fi for now? Its dead bandwidth is very low. Switch off from all devices, please. Whatever it is, just do that. I can't change.
UAE you're listening to my presentation. Unfortunately, I won't be able to physically present at your meeting, but I tried my best to make everything online and hope for the information that you will find in my presentation will be helpful to someone. So as I said, my name is Nadia, and when Neetu announced that family would be the topic of our presentation, it was very easy for me to decide what to talk about. And the reason is simple. I have been working in HR for more than 20 years, and around 20% of those queries that I'm having on my HR table are related
Okay, it looks like we have some issue with the video right now. So by the time we figure out what to do with this, I would like to invite our next speaker, that is Dr. Leila Kazim. She is wonderful human being. That's what I can say actually. So let's move to the discussion. And I'm so blessed to get this opportunity to introduce her. Dr. Leila Kazmi. First of all, I will say connect with her, follow her on LinkedIn because she's doing brilliant work in the GCC for well-being of employees. So Dr. Leila Kazim is a physician and well-being leader in UAE, and she's a medical doctor, which I never forget to mention because she is so kind, humble, and she is very knowledgeable person in this area. She designs preventive, family centered workplace well being frameworks for over 6,509 employees across retail operations. Her works is focused on long term impact through international system design. And that's what she's going to discuss with us today. Design today, impact tomorrow. Thank you, Dr. Leila, for joining us today.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Neetu, for having me on your show. I think this is a brilliant setup for the first family conference this year. I don't think anyone actually came up with the idea so far, but I really love it. And I think it's about time we initiated something around family. So my topic today, design today, impact tomorrow. So let me start with this one question, and I'd like you to hold on to it until the end. How many of the decisions we make today as leaders will still be affecting people long after they leave? Because leadership is not what we say, it's what we design. And people live with those designs every single day, not just at work, but at home, with their health, with their families, and with their futures. I would like to share with you a small story. It's not about a person, it's about a pattern, it's about a system. In operations, when something goes wrong, we often see the same signals. Someone looks exhausted, errors start creeping in, incidents repeat, absences increase. Eventually, someone leaves. And when we look back, we say things like, we didn't know it was that bad. They never said anything. We assumed that they could cope. But when we look closer, the issue usually wasn't attitude or resilience. It was design. Too much of the work for the time available, unclear roles, no real control, and support that arrived late or not at all. None of this came from bad leadership. It came from unintentional leadership. And that's why leadership by design starts now or begins now. So what does this mean? It's recognizing one simple truth. Leaders design work whether they mean to or not. We design the workload, we design the roles, the decision-making space, and how safe it feels to speak up. Psychological harm at work is rarely caused by individuals. It is caused by how work is designed or organized, managed, and led. So, leadership is not just behavior, it is architecture. So what are we designing today that people will still be living with tomorrow? And here's the uncomfortable part. When work is badly designed, the cost is not immediate. It's quiet. It shows up as burnout, rework, turnover, and repeat incidents. This is human drag, the slow loss of energy, capability, and trust. Research shows that poor work design directly impacts performance, safety, and retention, even when leaders have good intentions. So if we want better outcomes, we don't need more motivation. We need better design. I have some takeaways for you, and three main ones are: the workload is a leadership decision. Workload is not just about efforts, it's about volume, pace, and recovery. When people are consistently overloaded, they don't become stronger, they become tired. And tired people make mistakes. Leadership by design asks two main questions. Is this workload sustainable, or are we relying on people absorbing the risk silently? The second takeaway here, role clarity protects people. So unclear roles don't just create confusion, it creates stress, conflict, and blame. When expectations are unclear, people work harder to stay safe. So leadership by design means clear accountability, consistent instructions, and no conflicting demands. This is not micromanagement. This is psychological safety by design. The third takeaway, support delayed is support denied. Support that only appears at crisis is not support, it's damage control. Leadership by design means early check ins, permission to speak up, acting before people break. ISO 45003, this is the psychological health and safety at work. It places leadership accountability at the center of psychological risk prevention, not after the harm occurs. This year is known as the year of family, and I want to say this carefully and professionally. When work is badly designed, the impact doesn't stop at the workplace. Fatigue follows people home, stress affects relationships, and long-term stress or strain affects health and employability. The WHO recognizes that work conditions are a major social determinant of health, affecting families, communities, and not just individuals. So leadership by design is not about performance, it's about responsibility. So what are we designing today that people will still be living with tomorrow? Because leadership is not measured by intention, it's measured by impact. The most effective leaders do not wait for resilience. They remove unnecessary strain. So if leadership is design, then every decision that we make is a blueprint. So the question I leave you with is, what have we unintentionally built and what are we ready to redesign? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Leila. And this is such a profound question, actually. Most of the time, being a working professional, we don't even ask this question to ourselves, and neither the companies nor we as a professionals. We do ask. It's such a profound question. Thank you so much. I think you are leaving us on this special day with a very profound question, which will keep us awake for really long time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. And now we have another special guest from our well-being and family track, Dr. Tejas Sameer. She is like, if you're struggling with health issues and your gut issues, I don't secret. So she is the right person. Let me introduce this amazing speaker, Dr. Tejas Sameer. She is an integrative Ayurvedic physician, fermentista. I'm still learning how to pronounce that. Fermentista, whose work brings together microbiome science. If it's incorrect, Dr. Tejas will correct it. Therapeutic grade, fermentation, and gut brain health. I think this is the right time we talk about it, because we are talking about family and Valentine's Day. So gut brain relationship, yes, we have to talk about that one. Dr. Tejas creates evidence-based well-being program for VIP groups, corporate teams, and families across UAE and internationally. She has worked globally, transitioning complex science into simple daily practices that fit modern life, because we all are so busy. She's the founder of Culture Food Universe, so follow her on that. And she's a global well-being wellness day ambassador in UAE with the mission to build bio-resilient workplace and household through therapeutic ferments. See, I'm still learning those things, Ayurvedic principles. And she's going to share with us some very important very important details about integrative family gut reset. Thank you so much, Dr. Tejas, for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Neetu. Really appreciate it. And good morning, everybody. So let us begin with a very simple assessment of our health. So we are going to do it courtesy of the most trusted doctor around, which is our Instagram, right? So if you are a teenager, then your feed is going to say, cut sugar, eat more protein, drink more green juice, track your steps, sleep more, and hustle harder. If you are a parent, your feed is going to say, no carbs, no gluten, fast for 16 hours, but yes, make sure that you do not skip your breakfast. Track your steps, track your sleep, track your stress, track your child. If you are caring for your elderly parents, then your feed is going to say, eat light, eat nourishing foods, eat more proteins, eat more probiotics, avoid dairy, make sure you're strength training every day, and sleep more. So, under one roof, everyone is doing something different and everyone is tired. But most importantly, everyone is confused. And research says that more than 60% of the adults are now not just confused, but there's conflicting health and nutrition advice that we are receiving. But this advice is actually contributing as a chronic stressor. And where does this stress show first? Not in our minds, but actually in our gut, with bloating, irregular appetite, poor sleep, low energy, anxiety, all across generations in one house. Our families are stressed not because we don't care. Our families are stressed because we are utterly exhausted. Both parents are working, packed calendars, meals in the cars and at desks, kids with after school activities, late nights, screens, elders with low appetite, heaviness, and poor sleep. From a microbial lens, the gut never gets a chance for downtime and repair. And the microbiome usually shifts from a happy one to a more inflammatory one. And that means it is linked to poorer immunity, mood, and cognition. From an Ayurvedic lens, we call it the Visham Agni or a disturbed Agni, and the symptoms are very, very similar. Clinically, it looks like indigestion, cravings, restless sleep, brain fog, irritability, children who just don't settle no matter how much they are loved and cared. So, here's the helpful part. The latest science calls the meeting point of this stress, mood, and digestion the gut brain axis. Ayurveda has spoken about Agni, which governs the digestion, immunity, and mind for millennia. So, different vocabulary, same system. So, if the gut brain axis is pretty much where it all rests, do I need to change my whole life tomorrow to reset it and bring it back to balance? Thankfully, the answer is no. I keep it really simple and it is very easy to remember, especially with the special word for today, family. F for ferments, A for Agni, M for meals, I for intentional movement, L for low and slow, Y for yours. Let's look at how these five tips can be integrated in our daily lives. So, the first one is, of course, ferments, my favorite one. Therapeutically and preventatively,
Let me add Dr. Tejas again. She is here. Yes. Dr. Tejas, your PDF I can't see now.
yeah, I
So,
don't know what happened, but yeah, it's just coming on
yeah,
screen. Thank you for your
yeah,
patience
that's
with me,
okay. That's
everybody.
that's perfectly fine because, as I said when we started, that we are not chasing the perfection, we are chasing the reality. So, if there is some issue with like connectivity or something, that's perfectly fine. We'll take our own time. Please upload it, and then we'll start from where you left.
Yeah, so it's just uploaded. Let me just bring
Yes.
it to
Yeah.
this.
Here we are. I'll add it.
Thank you very much, Neetu.
Thank you.
Right. So we were talking basically about ferments. So fermented foods are basically therapeutically and preventatively extremely important for making sure that we have the live microbes and the fermentation metabolites to support our microbial diversity and the nutrient absorption. Now, my rule is very, very simple, just one ferment with every meal. And it doesn't have to be a huge portion because it's so powerful. All you need is one shot glass full or one spoon. So it could be a milk kefir or a laban or a yogurt Or it could be something like a kombucha or a kanji or a kvass. Or it could be your favorite fermented pickles like a kimchi or even a tomato pickle. So choose what is culturally traditional for you, because actually fermented foods are culturally ancestral superfoods across all parts of the world. The next one is Agni. Agni basically means your digestive superpower at a macro and a micro level. Now, this needs to be nurtured and kindled, especially in the morning. Typically, we are dehydrated in the morning. We lose about a liter and a half just through the night of our entire body content just by breathing and sweating. So, of course, we need to hydrate. But if we are to have a cold smoothie or a tumbler full of water first thing in the morning, we are going to either shock our agni or completely douse it. So just a small glass of warm water with homemade electrolytes is what we're looking at. Then comes breakfast. So all of us parents know that if kids go out to school either with nothing because the school bus is here, or with just sugar or caffeine, then what is going to happen through the day? Studies show that higher protein breakfasts improve satiety, regulate appetite, and support steadier focus throughout the day across all age groups. So then what is for breakfast? Of course, our favorite, avo on toast with eggs. It could be beans on toast. It could be beans with tortillas. Yes, first thing in the morning. Or our good old dosas and idlis or lentil pancakes or chilas. Even a bowl of nourishing porridge with nut butter and seeds. Exactly what our traditional breakfast used to be: warmth, protein, nourishment. The gut brain axis is therefore starting in a steady mode rather than a scrambled mode. M is for meals together, especially family dinners. Ayurveda is very clear about one thing. So at night, it is mainly for rest and repair rather than heavy digestion. Modern science also agrees with that. Late night eating is very disruptive for circadian rhythms, for inflammation, and poor metabolic and cognitive outcomes, especially on the next day. Here's the reality check: we will always have late nights, especially over here. So the aim is most days, not all days. And whenever possible, finish dinner before 3 hours before bedtime, or at least 90 minutes before bedtime. Keep it warm, keep it light, keep it nourishing, and be mindful of portions. And then here's the most underrated intervention: one shared tech free meal, even if it's just for 15 minutes. No phones, no screens, just you and the family. This simple ritual will shift the body into rest and digest, and it improves your gastric secretions, your blood sugar regulation, and your mood. You're not just digesting food, but you're also digesting your emotions. I is for intentional movements, functional movements. So either after lunch or even after dinner, rather than just going back to the desk or blocking for Netflixing, a simple, short digestive walk, even if it's for 5 to 10 minutes, is shown to slow down post meal glucose spikes and improve overall glycemic control. In Ayurveda, 5,000 years ago, we used to call it the Shatapauli. The aim here was not any kind of fitness metrics or your step count. It was just a clear signal to your gut microbes: we are taking care of you. And then the microbes are going to take care of you equally back that very night with better sleep, and the next day morning with calmer mornings. Try it. L is for low and slow, cherished weekends. This is honoring your vagus nerve, the gut brain axis, the highway for your gut brain axis. And it loves safety and presence. Screens, arguments, rush meals, they really switch off the digestion because it sends danger signals to your vagus nerve. So one slow morning every weekend, if not, then at least every fortnight, is a powerful medicine. Unrushed breakfasts, simple food, calm conversations. Children will not remember years later what was cooked, but it will remember how it felt to sit together, to be seen, to be safe, to be belonged. And one day, without realizing it, it will become their habit. Why is for your choice. Your choice. Make one tip as per your choice, whatever is practical to your life today. You don't have to put all of these immediately into practice. So, when we are asking you to do an integrative family gut reset, Ayurveda has spoken about this in a very clear way almost 5,000 years ago. When your diet, your daily rhythm, your movement, rest, and awareness are balanced, they themselves become the medicine that removes all kind of suffering. So when we speak about an integrative family gut reset, we don't have to do everything together nor check into a wellness retreat. It is basically these tiny repeated choices that constantly talk to the gut microbiome and thus reset your lifestyle. A warm shared meal, a slow morning, a lovely stroll in the evening with your dog. Tiny rhythms practiced with care that quietly turn everyday medicine into everyday life. I am grateful to all of your presence. Thank you for bearing with me for the disruption, choosing to care for yourself from inside out. I'd love to continue the conversation on all the socials. Thank you so much. Neetu, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tejas. You made this complex things such a simple and doable. Sometimes people don't follow not because they don't want to follow, but because it is too complex to follow. And you simplified it. And not only that, you made it very practical, which fits into the busy lifestyle of everyone. So thank you so much for that. Thank you. And vertical next track, that is the parenting at work. And this is so special because we all are like most of us are working as well as we have family and younger kids to take care of. So, yes, that's the point we are going to discuss. And we have a very special, very lovely human being with us today. I just simply admire her work. So, let me introduce her to you. Pooja Vashisth Joshi. See, she is senior HR partner, HR expert, and I really admire her work when it comes to the HR well-being and employee engagement, well-being, and everything. So Pooja believes HR is the heart of every business, and her work reflects that. Beyond policies, it's all about people, how they feel, how they grow, how they contribute. She's a strategic HR partner. She has worked globally. She builds people centered yet business driven framework that creates meaningful career path and succession pipelines. And she is a mom as well. So that's why she's going to share with us how she's able to manage both responsibility. Work life balance, is it really there or it's just a myth? Let's listen from the expert. Stage is yours, Pooja. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Neetu. Thank you so much for such a lovely introduction. And good morning, everyone who's listening to me. I am Pooja Vashisth Joshi. I'm working as a senior HR business partner. And like Neetu very rightly said, while my work focuses on building employee-centric strategies, my belief in work-life integration is something that comes from my real-life experience. I'm a working mother of two school-going children, and was staying away from my home country. I've always tried to balance between my priorities, my expectations, and how do I manage the role that I'm playing, the multiple roles that I'm playing. So today, as we talk about integrating to thrive, I would like to let's explore the option on how together we can go beyond the idea of work-life balance and embrace work-life integration to build a stronger workforce, a sustainable performance, and healthier workplace. But before we get into the details of this, let me tell you a story. So the picture is of my family. What if I tell you, like, it was one fine morning, me and my husband, we woke up, we had our coffee, we had a great chat, we read our newspaper, got the kids ready, got them to school, we headed to office. Me and my husband, we work very close by. And when at 9 o'clock, we were sharp in the office. It was like such a perfect day that was going so well. And then we continued working at 5 p.m. We closed our office, reached back home. The kids were home. They were having a great time. We all sat together. We had our dinner. We chatted. We shared our experiences of the day. And we watched some TV and we went to sleep. So it was a perfect day, a beautiful day, absolutely flawless, right? Now, what if I say that I have hidden a small detail in this story that I shared, which was that on that particular day, I missed my boys' soccer game. It's really sad, right? Now the mindset changes. You start the guilt, the mom guilt or the parent guilt starts getting in when your child says, Mama, everybody's parents were there, you were not there. I'm sure some of you might have experienced this as well. So the reason for this is work-life balance always suggests that we divide our time and energy into personal and professional lives. But in reality, we know that it is not that easy. Life cannot be divided into segments. The circles tend to overlap. Emails during dinner or while you are in a client meeting, you get some urgent call from your school's office, a kid's school, or you get an urgent call from home that needs your immediate attention, which is where you try to balance things, and this balancing leads to fall. Balancing is something that's always done between two opposite forces, but why is work and life in opposition? They are not, right? Although there are certain barriers in life or in reality that they get in the way of work-life balance. So as you can see on the slide, the first and foremost is your supervisors and managers, like we all say. But believe me, that is not the main concern. The next is your workload itself, that may be due to tight deadlines or like immediate extra tasks that were given to you. The third is burnout, of course, that is due to poor integration between work-life balance and excess of work. Then comes the company culture, where you talk about the cultural norms, like, I have to be available all the time, or I have to be there I cannot give a wrong message or a wrong signal to somebody by leaving early. So the company culture sometimes come into picture. And then, believe me, the biggest factor that impacts the work-life balance is your personal perfection. That is around 33%. This is from a source that is Zipper. And the internal pressure that we build in ourselves to be always available, to not say no to certain things. This reminds us that it is not just an organizational issue. It is all about the mindset that as well. So while flexibility exists, why does using it feel so, why do we struggle in using these flexibility, or why do we feel risky while using these flexibility? So because we need to stop managing the perceptions of what others feel and start managing our priorities and the impact of these priorities. Moving to the next slide. Now, these are two numbers that I'm going to share is from the recent reports from Forbes. So these two numbers, while I think one of them might be very familiar to you, 85% of the people feel that they are looking for flexibility, or they're looking for work-life balance in their routine jobs, whereas 59% of the people, that is, yes, focusing again, 59% of the people, they feel that their work-life balance is off. What is the meaning of work-life balance is off? When somebody says that the work-life balance is off, that means these 59% people have difficulty in switching off. They have difficulty in disconnecting from what they are doing. That again might be due to tight deadlines or excessive tasks, or certain people have difficulties in setting boundaries. They're not able to set those boundaries. So this 59% are the people that are looking for something that's the work-life integration. When we talk about work-life integration is about, it's a dynamic model, a flexible model that allows you to honor the choices of what matters then, what is most important at that particular moment. It's not about how many hours did I work, it's about how much energy or where did my energy I spend the best. What truly matters is the trust, the outcomes, and the sustainability, not the assumptions, not the fact that somebody might be watching, somebody might be reviewing whether I'm in office on time. But yes, you need to have that flexibility to decide that when you have to, what matters to you in that particular moment. So when you embrace integration, you are basically taking the driver's seat, and it's always normal to take your calls later, to address to an email tomorrow. You need to be present in where you are, which brings us to the future on how do we plan what will help us thrive in 2026 to embrace work-life integration. So first and foremost is enhanced performance. When we give our employees the flexibility, or when we are integrating work and personal life, it allows the people, or it allows your employees to know how, or to decide how and when a task would be accomplished, which leads to higher productivity and better performance. Also, it leads to improved well-being. Well-being is one of the aspect that's being talked about too much lately. So embracing work-life balance will always promote well-being, because less stress, less burnout. When individuals have the freedom to prioritize the activities that align with their values, with their priorities, they feel a sense of satisfaction, they feel a sense of fulfillment, whether it's in their personal life or professional life, and that leads to mental well-being and holistic well-being. The third is strengthened relationship. Of course, when you are able to decide that, okay, when your family matters the most, when your work matters the most, you are able to bring a stronger bond, not just within your family, but also with your colleagues, because you are blending your personal and professional or work activities. And with this, you are able to create more meaningful, more supportive relationships within your teams, within your family, within your friends, within your social circle. So these are the three important aspects that will thrive in 2026 when we integrate work-life balance. But the next question is, how do we do it? How can we achieve work-life balance? So work-life integration shifts focus from hours to energy. You need to work when you are at your best. It does not matter how long or how many hours have you invested in the work. Secondly, you need to remove the guilt. Stop feeling guilty about making certain decisions, because you need to prioritize, you need to embrace that they are all a part of your life. You cannot separate them, you cannot segment them. Third, start making choices. Integration means that you do what matters at that time. Stop balancing between two things. Like, I missed my boys' soccer game because I was trying to balance between my work and life. But if I wanted to integrate, what I will do is I can be productive from 9 to 3, 3 to 5, I can attend my boys' soccer game, and 5 to 8, I can again be productive. But make those choices, make the right choices, see what matters to you then. This will basically give you the flexibility to reduce the pressure and increase productivity, because you're mentally in the right state. And mind me, Please, integration does not mean that you're working less. It means doing the right thing at the right time, both in your personal and your professional lives. Further, I would really want all of you to do an activity, all of those who are listening. I want you to just today think on what is that one boundary that you would like to protect your time, or you protect your energy. What is it that you would like to do? It can be like, there are certain examples that I've mentioned. Maybe you're not going to take your calls after 8 p.m., or you are not going to, you're going to focus only on work and not going to attend any personal task for this maybe duration of 3 hours. So you need to set those boundaries that will help you save your time and energy. Towards the end, I would like to summarize that work-life integration means moving away from a binary work or life mindset and moving into an ultimately more productive work and life approach where you are making it together. Work-life integration isn't about everything at once. It is about doing what is right in that moment without feeling guilty about it. Because when work supports life, the life gives back to work. Thank you, everyone, for your attention. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate this. This is the slide that I would like to share, and I have my contact details there. You can connect to me on LinkedIn. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Neetu. Over to you, please.
Thank you so much, Pooja. It was so good. Being a mom and being a working mom, the guilt is always there because we feel that there is no time when we can feel fully complete and satisfied that we have given 100% to work and 100% to our family as well. And I think you have lightened that burden a little bit with your conversation.
Thank you so much, Neetu. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for your time. And I'll say to all our audience, once again, those who are watching live and those who will see recording later, please connect with all our speakers, like Pooja is there, and all our previous speakers and the speakers, those who are coming. They are like the best in their field. And that's why they have come forward to contribute to the community by sharing their knowledge. So connect with them, follow them, and every day you will get some inspiration dosage from them. Thank you so much, Pooja.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now we will move on from the family and parenting track. We will move to the next speaker. She is very special because my daughter is teenager and I can understand. And please give a thumbs up in comments if you are a teenager's parent. You know how difficult it becomes. So we have a very special speaker now, Dr. Deepa, and she's going to share with us. Let me introduce her to you. Dr. Deepa Khemani is a passionate parenting coach, medical doctor dedicated to empowering working parents and addressing unique challenges teenagers face today. Because we are living in a very different time. Today is more challenging than when we were young. With a strong professional background, she focuses on creating supportive environment at work for employees and at home for teenagers and parents. So she supports the working parents as well along with teenagers. Dr. Deepa's session blends science, empathy, and practical strategies to help parents balance work, life, family, while fostering resilient, confident teenagers. And she's going to share with us the silent struggles of working parents, which I think most of the people don't talk about, because if you're a parent of a teenager, it's altogether a different challenge. And now I'm into that zone, so I can understand that. Thank you so much, Dr. Deepa, for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Neetu, for this warm introduction. And yes, teenagers, parents say that it's a terrible, but I feel it's a terrific phase if you're able to gel well with them. So through my presentation, you will understand how you need to do that. So let's get started. Are you aware what are the trends going on Instagram? Well, I'll take you through. There are a lot of posts talking about 2016, what you were doing. So here's what I was doing. I was a homemaker, taking care of my children, the domestic chores, and that's about it. Fast forward it to 2026, and here I am, a life coach, niche being parenting, teenage mentoring, and my plate is full, overflowing. So now I'm an entrepreneur, a work from home person. Now, keep that in mind and we move ahead. What will be your life film, short film, if I have to ask you? Is it drama? Is it romance? Or is it some action or a thriller? Or you're just on the survival mode? Let me tell you one thing. Whatever it is, our life film is made up of small short stories. Now, these stories are the one which bring things together. And let me tell you one more thing here, and that is each phase is important because you have new roles, new responsibilities, maybe a new location, and of course, newer challenges as well. But the best part is that we keep moving. How does it start? Now, two people, they get married, nice, those dinner dates, long drives, and everything. Time is there for work. You're able to manage. But as you go higher up the professional ladder, there are more deadlines, more projects, more commitments. And then when parenthood parenthood comes knocking in, then the real balance start. Yes, integration is there, but then there is a bigger challenge that comes forward. The real challenge of working parents. It's not about the intention, it is not about the love, but it is something else. They are able to do everything but manage time. They are not able to manage their time, they're not able to manage their energy, they're not able to manage the emotional dysregulation and the presence. This is what causes a lot of spillover. Now, this spillover, it comes as when they see in the daily life the tantrums from the children, the emotional meltdowns, their homework, their discipline, their screen addictions, and that is when parents start feeling overwhelmed. And then the real challenge becomes they get into a series of roles that they are doing apart from their professional life. They are the caregivers, they are the nurse, they are the chauffeurs, they are the chefs and whatnot. And this is what brings about a lot of challenges. Now, here, these staggering numbers will be an alarm to you. 92% of the working parents feel burnout. Burnout balancing their professional life and their personal life. I'm sure that's really, really big number. 81% of the parents, those who are working, feel that 81% of the people feel that they are not able to give sufficient time. So they go into the guilt emotion, which is the worst emotion a person can get into. And what do then? They overcompensate with presents and materialistic possessions. That's terrible. And 73% of those working parents feel that they have emotional spillovers at home. Nothing worse than that when you are not able to regulate yourself. And these numbers are really screaming out from the screen that it's time that we take audit of it. Now, I'm going to be offering you 3 powerful solutions. Yeah, you see CPR here, but the CPR is not the medical CPR. It is the parenting CPR. And let me walk you through it. Connection over perfection. Now, this is something very important and it's become very cliched. So I'll help you break it down for you. Only the right key is able to open the doors. Now, if there are walls built around the child, they will not be able to open up and talk to you. Like this jigsaw puzzle bit blends completely. That is how you have to go around with your child. Not easy, not difficult as well. Only thing is, it requires your time and patience to to understand what are their needs. What is it that they are looking at from you? It's very simple, yet, it's bracketed in age. 0 to 7, 7 to 14 have different needs, and the teenagers, of course, have a totally different needs or expectations from parents. Moving ahead, this is something very important. As I mentioned to you, 73% of the working parents spill over their emotions on their children. Now, how can an emotionally dysregulated parent raise an emotionally resilient child? A very thought provoking question. Please think about it. So, what is needed? That we work on our own triggers. These triggers, which are inside us, and just by the slight tantrum from our child, can explode like a volcano. The first step towards this is pause. Pause, do not react. This is very powerful. Step away from the situation, saying that let's talk about it in a calmer state of mind. I'll get back to you later on this. That gives you a time to think, to ponder, and definitely it doesn't spoil your relationship. The third one, we all are bundles of emotions. Children have them too. They want to express their joy. When they are happy, they want to come and share it, get down to their eye level, hear them out. What complaint I get from the children is that my dad or mom will listen to me, but they are on their phones. How terrible is that? Please keep the phones down. Give them your 100% attention. When they are upset, don't barge in to, poke and ask what is the reason. Just tell them, I am there. If you need me, let me know. How can I support you? Be that emotional oxygen for your child, and then you will see how well your environment at home will be thriving. Next, this is a question I want to ask you. What is that legacy that you want to leave behind? Your children are not going to remember your promotions, your gifts. Not at all. What they will remember is, how did I feel? How did my parents make me feel secure? Was I loved? Was I heard? Keep these three powerful, impactful questions in your mind whenever you approach your children. And then you will see what beautiful harmony will be there in your house. That is it from me. If you want to connect with me, that's my LinkedIn profile. I work with parents and teenagers, help them set life goals, build resilience, come out of the screen overuse. And at the same time, when parents come to me, I help them emotionally regulate themselves, work on the triggers, and much more. I'm also a fingerprint analyst, that is the brain mapping, to help parents and children understand what are their strengths, what are their personalities, and how they can maximize on their strengths. That's it from me. Thank you very much. Over to you, Neetu.
Thank you so much, Dr. Deepa. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Deepa. It was really insightful. And it was, that I like this thing, that CPR thing. It is like acronym we can remember. And when you mentioned a lot of things, I was just saying, oh my God, this applies to me. Thank you so much. I'm very sure all audience will find it so useful. Those who are parents and those who are going to be parents, they are going to find it very useful. Thanks a lot, Dr. Deepa.
Thank you very much, Neetu.
And again, I'll say connect with all our speakers because they are brilliant, brilliant people. They are expert in their own field. And our next speaker he is very special and he's going to talk about something all families need to do. It's about mentoring, family mentoring, and how does it design it. So let's welcome Khalid Al-Zarooni. Khalid is the head of innovation and future foresight at Dubai Customs and is instrumental in shaping the future of his industry along with his colleagues in government of Dubai. He also manages few smaller businesses as an entrepreneur, and he credits most of his success in both the in the fields of the power of mentorship. And he's going to take us deep dive into the mentorship programs and how does it impact life. But it is important just not to feel that the professional and the the mentorship is not only important in business and professional world, but also in personal life. Khalid will show us how mentorship can transform family dynamics to a different level. So his topic of discussion is the power of mentorship in family dynamics. Thank you so much, Khalid, for joining us today.
A pleasure to be here, Neetu. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. So good morning, everyone. And I'd love to talk to you about the power of mentorship today and how it can impact lives. And of course, the UAE every year announces a special theme for the whole year. And this year, it's all about the year of the family, how to strengthen it, how to protect it. And one of the most powerful ways to do this is, of course, through mentorship. I believe mentorship is the key to building successful people and achieving individual success and excellence. There are lots of ways to build successful business models, businesses, successful ideas. But the way to build truly successful people, individuals, is definitely mentorship. So let's take a look. Now, mentorship is about taking someone with potential. We all have potential. All of us do. At certain points in our lives, it's about capturing that moment or that spark when it happens, molding it and shaping it and growing it. But unfortunately, there are many out there who lose out on taking advantage of that spark, that moment of potential. But opportunities do come and go. And that spark can be reignited by the right mentor. Now, there's a difference between the different kinds of training and coaching. Training is involving large groups. It's a structured program, okay? It's typically impersonal. Coaching is a little more personal, smaller groups. It's more performance-driven, more personalized. Mentoring, however, it's one-on-one. It's personal investment for long-term growth, and it's a developmental relationship. So it's about taking that individual with potential, taking a vested interest in them, and growing them bit by bit. It's not just coaching, it's not training, although it involves all of that. It's empathizing and investing in them, teaching them step by step, following up with them, using emotional intelligence to truly build that talent that you saw. You give them direction, you give them training, you provide support when it's needed, and continuous motivation to achieve the goals and to achieve the success of that individual. So many of the greatest mentors throughout history have helped build our civilization. And today's most successful people, no matter what you may think of them, have all gone through this mentorship process. We can go all the way back in time, the ancient civilizations, ancient and medieval history, the kings, the queens, the nobles of the court. They have always made sure to provide important mentors for their sons and daughters, for their young princes and princesses, to teach them the matters of state, military affairs, military strategy, politics, finances, and science and the arts, to ensure that they build their kingdoms and empires successfully. One great example is the Islamic Golden Age. It was a huge, vibrant time of breakthrough innovation, science, discovery. All those great scholars throughout the Islamic Golden Age had mentors, and they mentored others. That's one of the reasons why there was so many great scientific breakthroughs. Even back in ancient Egyptian history, the young king, the young pharaoh, Tutankhamun, he was guided and mentored by his vizier, Ay, who played a significant role in the governance of Egypt and built one of the greatest Egyptian dynasties of all time. Alexander the Great, okay, he was tutored by Aristotle, one of the greatest philosophers of all time. And the knowledge he gained about philosophy, ethics, and governance significantly influenced his approach to his leadership and his conquest. King Louis XIV of France, also known as the Sun King, he was mentored by a cardinal called Mazarin in the ways of governance and statecraft and the arts. And it was one of the greatest rules of all time. Even though there were many who disliked him, he still was great. He built a great kingdom. In modern times, Mark Zuckerberg stated that Steve Jobs was a mentor to him, providing advice on how to build a team that was focused on building high-quality services and products. Richard Branson from Virgin Atlantic, he credits Sir Freddie Laker, who had his own airways called Laker Airways. And he mentored Richard, providing advice on navigating the airline business, the airline industry. And now Virgin Atlantic is one of the best out there. One of the most powerful examples of mentorship is Oprah Winfrey. She was mentored by the great and late author and poet Maya Angelou. And she has some powerful quotes to say, Oprah. She said that Maya was always there for me, guiding me through some of the most important years of my life. And she said, mentors are important. And I don't think anybody can make it in this world without some form of mentorship. Powerful quotes. And in my personal life, I've had many mentors. In terms of business and entrepreneurship, I've had some of the best out there, some of the most successful. My father, God rest his soul, taught me the importance of being masculine, the right type of masculinity, that is, of course. And in my professional career, I'd like to highlight someone that I really, really care about. In the government, I had a personal mentor called Hussein Al-Fardan. He was previously the head of the Innovation Center, and he knew that one day I would take his place. So he took a personal investment in me, making sure I had the right skills. He was always there, telling me the great things about innovation, the important things about innovation, the right skills. And part of my success was due to his mentorship. The awards I've gotten, the travels I've been through, the success I've achieved, it's because of his mentorship, his investment in me. So for you and your children, no matter how young or old they or you are, even your brothers and sisters, your cousins, your nephews, your nieces, you can be a mentor for them at whatever point in your life. It can strengthen family bonds. Your family members will come to you for value and support. They'll trust you more. But there's a catch. The catch is you have to have the right mentorship skills as well. The 3 E's: experience, expertise, and emotional intelligence. When it comes to experience, it's much more powerful, of course, if you've achieved success, great success, but also from the mistakes that you've learned or that you've learned from others, so you can teach those you want to mentor the right things the right way. Expertise is also important. You have to be competent in what you're doing or what you want to teach others on. You have to have a level of competence that almost reaches mastery. And of course, last but not least, emotional intelligence. This is the key here. You have to be able to connect with people. You have to be a good listener. And you have to have that emotional intelligence to adjust your approach based on the person you're dealing with. So these are the qualities that you must have to be a good mentor. But if any of these areas are lacking and need work, then you yourself must get mentored. So here are some of the powerful mentorship areas for building a family, a strong family, a generationally successful family. Things that I've experienced myself, things that I've seen others succeed in. Time optimization. Some people call it time management. It's about doing the right things at the right times. And maybe even blocking your schedule for things that are not that valuable. You have to be strict when it comes to your time. Also, investing and wealth building. This is something that you yourself should learn and then teach your family members to truly stabilize your family generationally and generate generational wealth. Learn about investing and then teach others. And of course, masculinity and femininity. So important. We are on this planet fulfilling our roles, our gender roles. Men must be truly masculine. What's masculinity? It's courage, it's discipline, it's bravery, it's being resilient to the end despite challenges. So you as a man must optimize your masculinity and then teach the other males in your family. Same thing with femininity. Women can be very powerful if they truly embrace their femininity. They have greater nurturing power than us men. They're more intuitive and they're more emotionally intelligent. So once they embrace their femininity and teach others, the other females in their family, it can truly build strong bonds and a strong family. Now, if your mentorship skills are lacking, then as I said, try to get mentored yourself. The best way is, of course, one-on-one. To find that mentor, it can be in your family, it can be in your network, or you can reach out to those who you respect and admire. If not, then you can be around them. You can follow them. Or you can attend their master classes, their webinars, their conferences, learn from them that way. Or you can read their books. You can still be a student of Aristotle. Aristotle can still mentor you through his works, throughout history, his texts. You can learn and be mentored that way. So my message is for you to learn and upgrade yourself for the sake of your own growth and your own family. You become a mentor or be mentored. That's the way to success and building strong family. So thank you for listening. And for those of you who would like to connect, here's my LinkedIn. And I really thank you for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Khalid. It was brilliant, actually. And this reminds me of, I heard it somewhere, that don't have a coach or a mentor who don't have coach and mentor for themselves. So as you were speaking, I was just thinking of that quote which I read. And I love when you mention about that we can still learn from Aristotle. So I quickly went and picked some of the books which I love. Like, this is the autobiography of Nelson Mandela, one of my favorite. And this book, The Pele, I have read almost 10 times. I simply love this book, the way he has written. So yes, we learn a lot of things from all these people. And another, my favorite one is the Gary Kasparov's The Chess Book, How Life Imitates. I think it's on screen, it's reverse order. But yeah, what you're saying completely makes sense, that there is so much to learn, and mentorship is the best way to learn, especially for families.
Absolutely. And I've learned a lot from you as well, Neetu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, and what I like the most about is that how you connected, because normally when we think of mentorship, it's like something external, but you have beautifully put into the very fabric of the family, that how parents, mom and dad, they can do mentoring, how we can have siblings, like the elder brothers and sister can mentor their younger ones. So I made it doing that. Thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
And with this one, we are moving to the next track, which is about money, money, money. So money we are going to talk about, and we have a very special guest with us today. She is expert into finance and taxation both. So let me introduce her to you. One of the most beautiful person I have seen. We got connected on LinkedIn. Elisa Maria. She is a group tax manager of the Senate Group. Elisa is an experienced international tax professional with a proven track record in managing complex cross-border tax regulations and merger and acquisition transactions. She's an expert in translating intricate tax requirements into technology-driven solution, optimizing processes to enhance compliance and data availability. With a deep expertise in SAP R3 ERP, SAP S4, HANA, AWS Cloud, Elisa skillfully integrates tech strategies into global business operations, ensuring seamless alignment between techs and technology. And how it is related to family, that's the beauty of this session, because she's talking about family first, legacy always, how the taxation and finances, it's very much deeply rooted in family. So let's listen from her and understand and make notes. Thank you so much, Elisa, for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Neetu, for joining. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much for the lovely introduction, and I think it's a right time to talk about certain matters, as this is the year of the family in this great nation, the UAE, that embraces all of us from different cultures, different backgrounds, and of course we are very unique in this environment, as we all have families back home, and we also built a life. And try to progress here with all the fantastic opportunities. And then we are building our wealth, our savings, whatever we want to call it. And I think the need for this topic goes back to when I was a child. I first decided to think what I could do for a living. So I went and gave my parents with different options, and of course they were concerned that being me a daughter, I could have a means to survive on my own in case they would pass away, because they were quite older compared to parenting at the time. So of course I thought, okay, maybe I should be an accountant, and they say, oh yes, that's a very good profession. Then I decided to go into accounting. And when I was about to choose what I was going to do for my thesis, then I was faced what I could do for my thesis, and I was very passionate about taxes. And I thought, okay, well, there are two things in life that are certainly certain, and that is death and taxes. And I thought, well, I'm not going to put a funeral house, so maybe I should go with taxes. And I did my thesis on corporate taxes at the time. I was very passionate, and I became very passionate about taxes. And this is the reason why we are speaking about it today, because having been a professional in taxes, I do realize that sometimes we believe that taxation is only for the rich or the corporations, and we don't pay attention into our own finances. So maybe you are familiar with these two very famous people that I particularly love, Bob Marley and Prince. They are, of course, they have in common that they are singers, very famous in their own styles, but they also, when they passed away, one in 1981 and the other one in 2016, they left back their families with an intestate. They did not leave a will, and their families were grieving their losses of their beloved one, and also fighting with lots of documents that they could barely understand, real estate that they didn't understand, taxes, and a lot of intricacies. And that leads to the reason why it's important to talk about this topic, and to talk with your family and to bring them all on board. Then maybe you are also familiar with some of the brands here: Nickelodeon, CBS, MTV, show. I mean, when I was a teenager and a child, of course, I grew up with Nickelodeon and MTV videos. So this family was founded by Samir Redstone. He was the patriarch. When he passed away, he had several children and he had married a couple of times. Their family also went into such a legal battle for millions that they spent also millions in lawyers, because he left without a will again, and they almost broke the company. So this is clear examples of what could go wrong. I mean, I'm sure all of these people built their wealth and their legacy for their future generations to enjoy, or simply, their relatives to enjoy. But this went very wrong. So what can we do when we talk about taxes, legacy, inheritance? Well, there is a basic difference. The difference is when you have an inheritance, your beloved one has already gone away and you are faced with a will. and that will usually comes with a lot of taxes. When doing some research about personal taxes, I was faced with what was the highest taxes that could be in the world. And I was faced with, in some regions, not in all, in some regions of Spain and also some regions of Belgium, it, inheritance taxes could be up to 81%. Imagine, we work our lives here. We are building our little houses and savings in order for us to give them to our children. And then what happens is that maybe if we come from those backgrounds, they will be faced to give away in taxes 80%. Right? That would not be nice. And I mean, I'm a tax professional. I do understand taxes bring a lot of wealth to the economy, but also we need to be mindful of the people we love around. Other most fortunate ones, like for example in India, India abolished taxes, I think it was in 1985, taxes for inheritance. And that's very good. Congratulations to all of them. But most of the countries, including UK and some others, they have inheritance taxes that usually range between 35 to 40%. Of course, the spouses usually are exempt, but then the children and the rest of the family, no. And you want your children and your grandchildren to enjoy what you are building with a lot of effort here in the UAE. That's why this comes very important. So that's a big difference between legacy and inheritance. When I prepared this presentation in the beginning, I thought about very tax dimension, like for example, control, time, cash flow, ownership, the geography of that, and then need to say, okay, probably the people that are going to be attending with their families, they are not very much into very technical words. And I thought, okay, fair enough. And that's what happens when you're in taxes and you're a technical person. But I thought, okay, I think everybody, including myself, if I were not a tax professional, I could definitely relate to statements such as, for example, my parents have a house in my country back home. My children were born in the UAE. Maybe some of you have a property here, a mortgage you are paying from your salary, you are paying your mortgage monthly. Or maybe you are not wealthy and you are just saving, and that's also fine. And I think that's the important thing because by planning correctly your taxation in your legacy, in your succession, you will be able to combine all of this and mitigate the risk for the future to have unwanted, you know, law firms involved, unwanted cash flows that you have to pay, or well, your family has to pay on your behalf once you have passed away. And of course, the risk, because sometimes by not having a will, then what happens is that some of these properties can be just simply taken by the government if the proceedings do not go well. And believe me, I have heard the stories about it. And also I wanted to bring some very important statistics. So in the DIFC, in the past, I think up to 2024, there was about 1,800 wills registered in that year. If we think about it, it's not that many, right? And I'm sure a lot of us, we already have our families, our children here. So we need to think about a will because when we are here, we are year after year thriving in this wonderful country. But we also need to be mindful that what is going to happen when we are not here? We do not want to leave our families with a nightmare. So, what are the benefits of protecting your own legacy? Well, the benefits is that no one is going to go and knock on your casket. Dad, mom, you left me with a mess. Now what I do? Or people, or your family breaking apart because one of them does not have money to pay the taxes, or the lawyers and the other one has, and that's usually very common, and that tears family apart. So you will have your family with financial peace. They will keep united. That is the most important part. They will share a purpose. They will continue to trust each other because now, instead of seeing this as inheritance and who gets what, they are going to see it as a legacy. Imagine everybody sitting in one boardroom, and instead of being a company, that's the company that is not a company XYZ, that is going to be the company your family's company. So each one of them is going to be considered as a manager, right? So each one of them can have a saying, and the family legacy will continue to be protected under an umbrella of a will, a legacy. There are different structures that can be explored, and of course, the next generation will be ready. Not everyone needs to be an expert in taxes or administration. Maybe some of them will be future doctors or chemists, and it's important because they still will be protected, right? They do not need to know about taxation and finance. So I'm sure everybody living here, we have heard about the family offices. Well, family offices, for those that have not, these are very good examples of family offices, not only here. I'm sure everybody knows Al Futtaim Group. I'm sure everybody has know about Al Ansari. Al Ansari Exchange, and there are many others. I'm sure you have heard about Al Nabud, Al Gurer, and many others. These are just simple examples. Those of you that come from India, Tata Group, they have many sales organization that has a lot of verticals of business, and all of these have in common that they are family owned, right? And also they have delegated the control. I'm not sure if you are familiar with Bimbo, but Bimbo is from my country, Mexico, and it's also a family-owned business, one of the few that are left still, and they all view that they represent the values of the family. They have delegated at certain point the control as they continue to grow as a group. They have delegated to professional in finance and taxation their own companies and group of companies like myself and other people. And then what happens is that they receive their dividends. Some of them, they become CEOs or CFOs depending on their backgrounds, but not all of them, but they still benefit from this. Again, we do not need to be the future Tata or Al Futtaim or Bimbo. Who knows? Maybe someday we will. Hopefully we will. But still, we do not need. There are other structures that can be explored for smaller families with properties and real estate across the world and different assets. That's also very important. And of course, there are pre-family offices that can be also explored here in the free zones. So you can of course go there and go and have a saying with your preferred advisors. And finally, I want you to take these three key takeaways: that always your family is first. Money comes and goes. What you build should not be just assets and paintings or whatever. It should be your legacy, should become available for your next generation, and think that taxes is also the bridge between both of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Elisa. It was so insightful. And me being Indian, I was not aware of many of the things which you mentioned about the Indian taxation and all. And we don't realize the value of what you're saying until some problem comes. So I think as a family, this is important for all audience. Please make notes of all whatever speakers are saying and share with your friends and family and follow them, because they are giving the essence of their 20-30 years of experience in just 10 or 15 minutes, which you'll not get anywhere else. Like Elisa, she's expert in global taxation and merger and acquisition and all these things. So she sees things from the bigger perspective. What could possibly go wrong and how it can impact a company and a family. So thank you so much, Elisa. It was brilliant. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much, Neetu, and I hope that you found some value. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your day.
Yes, thanks a lot. And now we will move to one of the most hot topic of our discussion, which is like very hot topic currently. Everyone is talking about AI. So let's deep dive into. We have two sessions by two experts in AI. So the first session is by Anuj Saxena, and he's a well-known person when it comes to AI. He's executive advisor and enterprise digital transformation leader. Anuj has an extensive experience leading AI, cloud, SaaS driven transformation across industries and regions. He ensures strategy translation into adoption, outcomes, and measurable business impact. So he sees AI from a bigger perspective. He partners closely with executive teams to drive $1 million expansion, align sales, technology, and C-suite, and build trust that mobilizes across functional teams for enterprise scale success. and he's going to share with us something super interesting and a bit scary for all parents. Parenting Generation A guide for working families, because this generation is the first generation of AI. So, how, as a parent and as a family, what we can do about it? Thank you so much, Anuj, for joining us today.
Thank you, Neetu. So I know we've all had discussions at our home about mobile use and what we can do to help our kids navigate that. But what we are realizing nowadays is that there is another big topic which has come, which is on AI. It's not just in our workplaces, but it's also something which is coming in our how our kids are interacting with it. So this presentation is an attempt to get those conversations started and give parents some thoughts that they can start thinking on. And if you can go ahead and start having those conversations, then this would be really successful. So to start off with, I will share something which is very real. I mean, this is a simple conversation which happened online. It could be between my daughter and her friend asking if she's having a play date, if she can come over, or us asking any of our friends. Only that it's not. This is a conversation between an AI chatbot and a 14-year-old boy asking him that he can come home. What happened was that while his 2 and 5-year-old siblings slept in the room next and parents saw TV and the AI was chatting with him, the boy killed himself. In fact, this chatbot was so scary for adults too that they really could not find out what's the difference between what is real and what is not real. And in fact, you can read some of the reviews that people had put on the App Store about it. But I mean, how many of us use character.ai? Hardly any of us. So we are immune. I mean, we are in our bubble, we are fine, we are safe. But I'll just show you another conversation, which again is not something that happened in a corner in some chat room or somewhere else, but it again happened in a house with children, just like yours and mine. This was a conversation between a child and a Gen AI tool where he kept on confiding his feelings about self harm. And the chatbot, instead of guiding him to professional help or to talk to his parents, asked him to not to do that, which eventually led to the boy killing himself. But what really should scare us is that mostly as parents, is that it's not the parents' fault. They gave a tool to the kid to be able to get more productive, to be able to understand more, to complete school assignments. They had no idea that the child was in fact speaking to the to ChatGPT and giving their deepest feelings and taking advice for it and even believing in it. So today's conversation is not so much about creating panic or blaming AI or anything. I mean, it has to be something more uncomfortable. It's about us as parents. Do we really understand AI and how our kids are using it? And are we able to guide them? So the first question that really comes to all the parents' houses, I mean, what do we do? We have so many things. We are working parents. We are trying to help them in whatever way we can. We're putting them to the best of schools, trying to guide them. But how do we help them navigate with AI? I mean, it's so new that even professionals are trying to get their head around how it works and how it responds. So how do we help kids in such a scenario? My first advice is that you should come out of the bubble that the smarter your kids are, they will not be impacted. In fact, there is enough evidence in studies to show that the smarter kids get impacted more. Because what AI does is that it lowers the boundaries taken for critical thinking. Kids become more confident and then they start relating and believing everything that the AI does. In fact, there is a marked increase in bullying in schools with kids using deepfakes because they totally believe what's in there. So what has changed over the past couple of years is that kids are not just using AI, but they are relating to it. They are believing in it. Like someone said that firstly, we gave AI tasks and now we are giving it our hearts. In fact, most of the kids watch YouTube Kids, and if you go as a parent and see some of the content, it's what's classified as AI slop. These are all AI generated images which are detached from reality. Kids are learning how world works according to them. Is that fair? In fact, BBC did a study in which they showed kids AI slop where pyramids were built by aliens and they used to generate electricity, and kids really believed it. And when they were finally told that this was all a lie, it took much longer time to believe that this could be. But what I'm saying here is not that AI is a threat. It's not that you need to ban it. It's not that you need to take away the devices from your kids and tell them not to use AI. It's part of a curriculum. But what I'm trying to tell you here is that we need to be there to help our kids, to guide them, to use them. Because if we don't, then they will definitely turn to AI to help them with it. And when the law will start coming in, it comes into force probably next year, and it makes parents a part of how kids behave online. Is the government asking us to be a part of people who help and guide our children? It's not just left to ISPs or to websites, but it's also us parents who need to stand tall and help guide our kids in how they use AI and how they behave online. But then the other question that comes in with more parents is, I mean, do you know how our kids use AI? Are they tools? Well, maybe, but the fact is you cannot know this correctly 100% every time, because most of the apps that are there have AI embedded within them, and that's not the whole point. And what my advice to parents today is to not to try and become an AI expert and try to police kids on what they should do and not. What kids really want is something more. They want your presence. They want someone to be there, to be able to discuss with them when things feel scary, when they're not able to understand what's happening online, and to be able to share their feelings. And that's where we need parents to have those conversations. Because if we do not have those conversations, then definitely AI will. So to close, I just wanted to give you a very simple tool, and this is just a starting point from where you can have conversations. The whole idea is to have a discussion with your kids, to sit down with them and discuss. So when you say sit, there are 3 points in this. One discussion is around secret. If someone or any tool asks you to upload more of personal information, please don't do it, because the more the tool understands about you, the more personalized it will have a conversation with you. At the end, it's a machine on the other hand. 2, identity. What really is AI? It's just a machine which is coming up with the next most probabilistic word. It's not really understanding you or your feelings. It's there, which is monetized to be able to keep you engaged. It's not someone you could take an advice from. Most importantly, truth. What really AI is saying? How did it come to it? What was the thought process behind this? This is an ancient old discussion which we have had and we were taught in the earlier ages in schools and universities is about skepticism, to question everything. This is the most important thing we need to bring into our kids, to not to believe AI for what it says, but to ask, how did it come to this? And then be able to use our own ability and judgment to come to the right conclusion. This is something which is not just for kids for now, but also for them to become better in the future. Because in the end, AI is just a tool. It's us who are parents who are actually the compass. We need to have these conversations with our kids around truth, around beliefs, about their feelings, and be able to guide them. Because AI is just another tool which will come and probably will have something else. Unless we are able to bring this thought process within our kids, we will not be able to prepare them for what's going to come in the future. And if at the end of this presentation, if you can go and start having those conversations, I think it will be a successful. Thank you, Neetu.
Thank you so much, Anuj. It was so much thought provoking. Actually, me as a teenager parent, it made me think and it made me reflect that, oh my God, like, because my daughter has a separate room and she's using, so I understood what are the risks involved and we need to intervene at some point. Like having boundaries is okay, but where we have to be present with them, we have to do that. Thank you so much for sharing this.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And with this, we move to our next track, next conversation on AI, which is again by another great expert from the AI field, Elif Karagoz. She is autonomous enterprise AI, Gen AI, innovation and digital transformation expert. Elif is passionate about driving digital transformation for better future, helping organization unlock human capital potential and achieve sustainable performance. Not only that, what stands out is that yes, we know she's an AI expert, but she is an endurance athlete, marathon runner, and triathlete, and Ironman 70.3 finisher. Wow, that's a big thing. Elif brings the same discipline, what she has in athletes, to the leadership and speaking. Her speaking style is very natural, bold, and thought provoking. So, enjoy this conversation about family in the age of AI because this is entirely a different era. Thank you so much, Elif, for joining us today.
Thank you, Neetu, for the great flattering introduction, for the boost of energy. So, hi everyone, good afternoon. And I want to start by learning a little bit about each other before we dive into the age of AI. So if you have ever done this, feel free to type yes in the chat. It's imagine yourself, it's the end of a tiring day, or it's actually a beautiful sunny Saturday as this one. And you decide to relax, so you open your Netflix. And instead of watching something, you find yourself scrolling, and it's been at least 15, maybe 20 minutes just to watch a 90-minute show. And instead of feeling relaxed, you even slightly feel frustrated because finding something to watch should not be this hard, right? Okay, yeah, it's nice to see people are commenting yes. It's nice to know that I am not alone. So then let me make another guess. If you are subscribed to more than one streaming platform, drop another yes to the chat and feel free to make it in capital letters this time. Because when one platform doesn't give the desired experience, we add another. More options, more choices, and yet still truly not satisfied. This small frustration and dissatisfaction aren't really actually about entertainment. It's a preview of how life works in the age of AI. Because for a long time, especially over the last decades, we lived with a powerful assumption. More options equals more freedom, and more freedom equals better decisions, which is a very beautiful equation as we are seeing on the screen right now, and it sounds reasonable. And for most of the human history as well, it worked. Why? Because more options is the opposite of scarcity. And in the age of scarcities, families try to use scarcity as a kind of cheat sheet to decide what truly mattered and what needed to be taught to the next generation. For the next generation to have a better life, to have a chance of survival. In the agricultural age, it was food, so families taught children how to work with the land. And in the age of industrial age, with factories, schedules, and systems, families taught discipline and reliability because fitting into the system meant a better life. In the age of information, scarcity shifted again, this time to opportunity. access to education, credentials, performance. Families taught achievement, because this time standing out meant access to a better future. Each era rewarded a different capability, not because families were right or wrong, but because scarcity demanded it. Now, with the age of AI comes the twist. For the first time in history, families and their children, and as majority of the humanity, we are not primarily navigating scarcity. We are navigating abundance. And AI is accelerating and will continue to accelerate this abundance at an exponential speed. AI makes information abundant, AI multiplies options and opportunities. By logic, living a good life in a world of abundance should be easier and more likely, but it isn't. And at this time, I can almost hear my grandmother from above and my parents over the phone saying, you should feel lucky, you should be happy. When we were at your age, we didn't have any of these options. Everything is easier for you. And they are not wrong. So let me be clear on this. This is not a complaint that is born out of being spoiled. Because what we are struggling with is not a moral failure. It's a cognitive one. And psychology has been warning us about it for decades. At the very moment, economics, we're still celebrating more options is gonna be better. So, which psychologist asked a simple question, but an unsettling one. Does having more options improve decision quality and satisfaction, or does it create friction and causing paralysis and quietly reduce action? What they did in the year 2000 to test this, they designed what later became famously known as the GEM experiment. So in a supermarket setting, on one day, shoppers were presented with 6 different types of gem, and on the other day, they were presented with 24 different types of gem. The results were striking. When people encountered with the display of 24 options, many more stopped and looked. They were simply drawn in. But when it came time to actually choose and buy, very few people bought anything. The smaller display, on the other hand, with 6 different types of gem, did the opposite. Fewer people stopped, but many more actually chose and purchased. So abundance of options did 2 things at the same time. The first is it captured attention, even from the people with no intention to act. And the second is it made choosing harder, even for those who genuinely wanted to choose. And it's important to remember this. GEM is a low-stakes decision. There are no long-term consequences associated. There is no identity attached, no fear of regret. But even there, more options created noise and led to unnecessary friction and reduced action. So what does the GEM study ultimately shows us? Not that abundance is a mistake. It shows that abundance changes how the human mind works. When options multiply, attention increases, but action declines. The brain spends more effort evaluating and left with less energy and more anxiety for deciding. So now imagine being born into this dynamic where the same mechanism shapes your relationship with education, careers, relationship, identity, and purpose. This is the environment and psychology the next generation is growing up in. Not a world of scarcity, but a world where infinite types of gem is constantly capturing attention and agency is quietly eroded into paralysis. Therefore, in the age of AI, the most critical human capability is no longer access. It is agency. And agency is the ability to choose intentionally without exhaustion. And because scarcity no longer does this work for us, for the families, as in the previous ages of agriculture, industry, or information, families must take on that role. But how? So I would like to give you 3 practical practices that you can apply in your day-to-day conversations. First, name what matters out loud. Because making values explicit when we are making choices is making the difference. In a world of abundance, importance becomes invisible unless it is spoken clearly. Family members can start by verbalizing their decision-making process in simple everyday moments. I'm choosing this because it matters more to me from these perspectives. Or we are saying no, not because it's bad, but because it's not aligned with our values and priorities. This demonstrates to the next generation that choices are guided by values and priorities and not by availability, trends, or algorithms. Second is practice bounded choices. Structures give confidence to everyone, to adults and to the children. And remember this, even the most skilled jugglers start with 2 balls and not 5 at once. So instead of asking to your children, such as, what do you want to do? Offer, would you like option A or option B? This helps reduce cognitive load and builds decision confidence without removing the autonomy from the children. And third, last but not least, which is the glue that is connecting first two practices as well. Separating attention from intention, giving them and allowing them to have a pause before choosing. Follow up with simple questions when you have offered them with options. I'm curious, what drove you to choose this over the other? Is this helping you to rest, learn, connect, or just distract? So families need to help with separating the attention from intention, creating a space where choosing becomes intentional. So this matters because agency doesn't emerge from being told what to do. It emerges in the pause before a choice. So I want to leave you with a scene. A young man sits on a bench, confused, searching, unsure. I'm 100% most of you know he is Neo. And an older woman sits beside him, calm, grounded, oracle. She doesn't give him a lecture. She doesn't tell him what the future holds. She simply offers a small red candy. The choice is his, not because the options disappeared, but because the space around the choice became quiet. That is the difference. So in summary, in the age of AI, where options expand endlessly, families must become that presence of pause. Not the predictor of outcomes, not the controller of direction, not the voice that overwhelms with advice, but stabilizing the space where choice becomes intentional, where noise slows down, where evaluation doesn't become an exhaustion. So the agency is protected because the critical human capability is no longer access in the age of AI. It is agency, the ability to choose without paralysis, without losing oneself in infinite jars of gin. And it begins at home. So thank you very much. And please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn to have further conversations if you would like to on AI, family, age of AI transformation. And thanks for this opportunity, Neetu.
Thank you so much, Elif. And I like what you mentioned that even the experienced jugglers, they start with two balls only. So that is such a profound message because when I get AI, all the AI messages, sometimes I just shut it down because it's too much for me to understand and decide which one to choose. So as you mentioned about the jam, I don't make any choice. I said, leave it. I'll do it later. I can't do now. Thank you
Great.
so much.
Thank you.
Elif, it was really insightful, and we got a lot of comments actually about the conversation. So thanks a lot for your time and sharing your expertise. And now, two speakers, they couldn't join us live. So they have recorded the message and then they have sent it for you. So let me introduce you. And I'll try the Nadia's video one more time. So let's talk about Aditi. Aditi is Group Head of Human Resource, Corporate Sustainability, and Learning and Development and Facilities. Aditi is passionate HR leader with 13 years of experience in driving organizational effectiveness, people development, and high performing cultures across diverse industries. As a young founding member, she has helped build market leading growth strategies and excellence driving HR framework. And she has recorded the video about leadership and motherhood because most of female, they just stop working for certain time when they become mom, and then later when they try to come back, it becomes very challenging for them to get the same position and get into the industry. So let's hear her message, and I'm keeping fingers crossed that this video should work.
Hello everyone. Today I'm here as a parent, partner and a professional because in real life these roles doesn't exist separately. So today I want to share with you my learning through experiences. Do you know in MENA region, including UAE, 50% of women take a career break, mainly due to two reasons. One, managing many responsibilities, and two, fear of being judged. And out of those 50%, only 19% return to full-time work. Trust me, when I was also returning to work after a 3-year career break due to motherhood, I had the same question in my mind. How will I manage all the roles? As there will be a constant judgment at home or at workplace. For the longest time, I believed that being strong meant handling everything independently. And there I was wrong. Strong people seek help. And the support and help that I got is from my husband.
Okay, so we have a bit of challenge in playing the video. Let's do one thing. We will upload it on YouTube and share the link with you because both the sessions by Nadia and by Aditi are very useful, but unfortunately we are not able to play them here. So that's perfectly fine. And I want to say that thank you so much for joining us today. I know it was a bit of a long conference, but this is just the beginning. We have a lot of events planned for on the same theme, the year of family. So stay tuned, and on comments, I have shared the link of all our speakers. Follow them, see their work. They are doing brilliantly in their field, so you will learn a lot. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for joining. Enjoy your weekend.